All right, so good day to everybody. Welcome back as always to the Formula Sports channel. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Gentle reminder as always to hit the likes button on the video, subscribe and share. Free and easy ways to support the Formula Sports channel. This is a preview video for the upcoming Jamaica versus Venezuela game, the last game of the Copa America, unfortunately, for the Jamaica Reggae Boyz. Later on today, Sunday, at 7 p.m., June 30th, the Reggae Boyz go toe-to-toe with Venezuela. On paper, this Venezuela team, many might look at it and say it is the weakest team in our group on paper. However, they sit atop our group with 2 victories. The 2 quote-unquote top teams in the group. Venezuela beat them, beat Ecuador in their first game and beat Mexico in their second game. And many people thought that Mexico going into that game was the considerable favorites. And the fact of the matter is Mexico struggled to control that Venezuela team. Mexico struggled to control them. So, it's another tough game in the Copa America for the Jamaica Reggae Boyz. We haven't won a game since the start of the tournament. This is our 3rd time at the Copa America. We are yet to win a game. Thankfully, in the last game, we scored our first goal in 3. This is our 3rd attempt at the Copa America. So hopefully we can finish off the campaign with a victory. If Grimmy get a victory in this Copa America, you can't talk to Grimmy, because Grimmy going to tell you, said this is the 3rd Copa where Jamaica go, and him alone get a victory for the boys in Copa. But hopefully we can get a victory, score some goals, win our first ever match at the Copa America. And hopefully the referees don't get in our way this time around either. One of the things I want to touch on going into this game as it pertains to Jamaica from our standpoint, I would like to see us play some decent football, right? And I'm speaking about the attacking moments of the game. You have the 5 moments of the game, 2 of those moments being attack and also attacking transition. I would like to see us improve in those 2 moments of the game. I need to see a more sophisticated structure from the boys in terms of how they play tomorrow. One of the things I've been very critical of the boys in this tournament is how slowly they move the ball, especially relative to their counterparts in this competition, who seem to have a plan, an idea, when they're short passing, build up play from the back. They seem to have an idea, a plan, a structure in place as to, the patterns of play, etc., as to how they're going to progress the ball throughout the respective thirds. We haven't really seen that from Jamaica, apart from the long ball, which seems orchestrated. When we're short passing, building out from the back, it doesn't seem planned. It doesn't seem structured. The team seem clueless, to be honest with you, like them out there guess and spell when they're building out from the back. Sometimes, a lot of the times we go long, but there have been times when we're short passing out from the back and it just does not look structured. It looks very unsophisticated and like the team just improvise and make it up as they go along. So I would definitely want to see improvement where that is concerned in this game versus Venezuela, right? That's a big deal for me. I'd like to see the team look better when progressing the ball, from the back to the front, especially if we're not going long. More prefer we not go long, but fine, we're going long. When we're not going long, though, there are times when we don't go long. We need to see some sort of structure from the boys. We need to see a structure from the boys. As it pertains to the rankings, Venezuela is ranked 54th in the world. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Jamaica ranked 53rd, 1 place above Venezuela in the FIFA World Rankings. Coming into the Copa, if memory serves right, before the Copa started, Venezuela was actually above us by a few places. If memory serves right, it was 2. But then there was the last update on the FIFA World Rankings. We jumped over them and we're above them by, just ahead of them basically in the FIFA World Rankings. Rankings is an interesting thing. The thing about Venezuela is that their number 54 spot in the ranking is a bit more impressive to me than our 53rd spot in the ranking, simply because Venezuela is a South American team and most of the opposition that they would come up against is significantly tougher than what we would come up against being a Concacaf team. So I wouldn't read too much into the rankings to suggest in any way, shape, or form that these two teams are on the same level. Don't make the closeness in the rankings fool you, right? The last 10 games for Venezuela, their record over the last 10 games, 4 victories, 4 draws, and 2 losses. Our record in the last 10 games, 5 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. So, we come into this game in slightly better form. But again, when you look at the games that Venezuela has played in their last 10 games, it wasn't an easy road, as Bojo Banton would have said. You get what I say? So, again, even though their form is slightly inferior to ours, I would not read too much into that either, because context matters. In Venezuela's last 10 games, they have scored 10 goals and conceded 6. Jamaica, in our last 10 games, scored 11 goals and conceded 13. So we have conceded over double the amount of goals in the last 10 games that we have played when compared to Venezuela. And then when you put that in the context of the teams that we have played versus the teams that Venezuela has played, that's definitely an issue for us going into this game. Venezuela doesn't really concede that many goals relative to us, and they're playing tougher teams. You get what I'm saying? The head-to-head matchup between both teams, 2 wins for Jamaica, 1 draw, 4 losses. So Venezuela has beaten us in what, 7 games we have played them. Venezuela has won 4, we win 2, and 1 game was drawn. So the head-to-head suggests that, historically speaking, Venezuela has been better than us. We have scored 4 goals in, versus Venezuela, and Venezuela scored 9, more than double the amount of goals that we have scored in this fixture. The last time we played Venezuela was at the Copa America, this very same tournament, all the way back in 2016. I remember that game. I remember it well. Rudolph Austin got a red card in that game. And I remember before Rudolph Austin got the red card, we were actually playing very well. We were the better team, in my humble opinion, at that time. But, unfortunately, Rudolph Austin got the red card. And, Venezuela won that game. Venezuela won it 1-0. So that was the last time we would have faced Venezuela. This Venezuela team, from some of the games that I've watched them play in the build-up to this tournament, my opinion on them is that they're a solid team on both sides of the ball. It's a solid team on both sides of the ball. They do well on both sides of the ball. Obviously, again, relative to the competition that they're playing, but people, this is a tough little Venezuelan team. On paper, the weakest we have faced so far in the tournament, but by no means a team we should be taking lightly. And, again, they're atop the group, so they're in spanking form. A team that I think that is very well organized on both sides of the ball. In watching this Venezuela team, I was, looking for weaknesses, whether they concede the same type of goal on a regular basis, that sort of a thing. Like for instance, I was pointing out the weakness with the Ecuador team in my preview before that game. People may not really see a weakness in this Venezuela team, to be honest with you. They concede different types of goals, a variety of goals. Them not really they don't really have any outstanding weakness that I personally identified. So, that's me personally. I don't know if you guys watch this Venezuela team and see a specific weakness. It's not the strongest team in this tournament, obviously. So I guess, from a quality standpoint, relative to some of the other teams many of the other teams in this tournament, on paper, it's one of the weakest teams in the tournament. So, that's probably the outstanding weakness, but from a run of play standpoint, they don't really have that one issue that causes them to be vulnerable or causes them to concede a lot of goals. Again, in watching this Venezuela team play, it's a traditional South American team in terms of the way they play. Very good ball playing team. You know them South American teams. They're really good when it comes to them football. South American teams are no joke. They're a good ball playing team. They build up short passes and also long, so that they mix it up. And some plays they go long, and some plays they short pass out from the back. I'd probably say the short pass build out from the back more often, but every now and again you see a long ball in terms of from getting from back to front. A key feature of this Venezuela team in how they play is that they move the ball very quickly in transition. They move the ball very, very, very quickly in transition. Basically, when Venezuela play, it's almost as if they're trying to turn the game into a basketball game. A basketball game go already, up and down, that sort of a thing, high tempo. That's a big part in how this Venezuela team, it's a key feature. I would definitely recommend that we try to slow the game down as much as possible in order to prevent playing into the hands of the Venezuelans. And one of the things that I also realized, a key feature of the Venezuela team as well, is that they're very good in 1v1 scenarios in terms of their players are good at taking on players and beating them. And that obviously plays into the quick transitional style of play as well. So yeah, man, that's basically a quick summary of how this Venezuela team play. Again, they're atop the group for a reason. So is a very difficult game we're gonna have against this Venezuela team. Again, not the strongest on paper, but a team that we should definitely respect. The most dangerous players that Venezuela have, the players that I think can cause us a fair bit of problems. Herrera, the Girona midfielder. He's a starting midfielder for Girona. And we all saw the season that Girona had in La Liga. They just concluded La Liga season. So he's a top player and a very, very dangerous player in that midfield, controlling the game, that sort of a thing. Very good player. Solomon Rondon, the veteran, big player. I mean, you know about Solomon Rondon already. Played in the English Premier League. Played for Zenit St. Petersburg in Russia as well. That was probably his most successful stint in a big club in Russia. Won quite a few trophies with them and scored a lot of goals with Zenit St. Petersburg. I think that was probably the move or the time when Solomon Rondon really made his name, or really made a name for himself when he was at Zenit St. Petersburg. Another dangerous little player that they have is a player by the name of Jefferson Salcedo. He's a number 10. Well, he wears the number 10, but he's really a winger. On the left is where I see most deployed for Venezuela, and he's a dangerous player, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put it this way. Dexter Limbekisa is going to have a very tough time coming up against this player. Very, very dangerous. Live wire. Very good taking on players in 1v1 scenarios, getting by the fullback in 1v1 scenarios, getting to the byline, cutting it back, cutting inside, taking shots, making a pass, getting to the byline, putting it across, that sort of a thing. Very direct, very energetic, live wire sort of a player. He creates a lot of dangerous opportunities for this Venezuela team. So, yeah, man, those are the players to watch from a Venezuelan standpoint. Again, man, a difficult little Venezuela team, not the best team that we have ever, or that we are going to come up against in this competition on paper. But again, they're atop the group for a reason. Hopefully the Reggae Boyz can, you know, knock them off top spot and have a very good result to take us out of the Copa America in this upcoming game later on this evening. Knock up the likes button, subscribe and share, ladies and gentlemen. Free and easy ways to support the Formula Sports channel. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Take care, guys. Stay safe. And until next time.